Welcome to the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter. This is our study group for June 6th of 2024. This is our 123rd study group. Today we're going to be working on the business analysis body of knowledge, the knowledge area 2, which is chapter 4, elicitation and collaboration. And my name is Thea Soren. I am the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter president and the vice president of career and professional development. If you have any questions, if you need assistance, if you need referrals, if you need whatever, it's my job to help you. So reach out to me through LinkedIn or through my website, and I will do my very best to help you. If you're here in person, great. If you're here through the recording, still, you are part of us. We want to help you, so reach out. We are a volunteer-led organization. We have the Vice President of Membership and Marketing, Cliff Gray. You can see him here in his Millennium Falcon. Yulia is our Vice President of Finance. Our board members at large are Uche, Vivian, Esther, and Alicia. We so much appreciate these folks because without them, we wouldn't have a chapter. So that's what we're here for. Our mission is to help people everywhere. If you're interested in beginning your business analysis career, if you are a business analyst but you need education or practice, or if you are an experienced business analyst and just want to plug into the community, that's what we're here for. If you are anywhere in the world and you don't have a local chapter, we are here for you. You can join our chapter. We just want to help everybody. So we've given you several ways to reach us. Today it is Thursday. This is our normal weekly study group from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, US. We have LinkedIn groups. We have our meetup. We have our Zoom online, which is how we meet. We have study group materials in our Google Drive. Folks, there is so much good stuff in here, and I've recently added more stuff. So if you're interested, go in and see what's in there. Our meetings are recorded on YouTube, and we also have our IIBA website. We typically focus on these 3 certifications. These are the 3 certifications from the business analysis body of knowledge. There are 4 other certifications that are external to that, and they're available to anyone. If you have any questions about any of these, please reach out to me. We do like to celebrate our wins. Folks have reached out to us and said, because of your study group, we were able to pass our certification, and that is music to our ears. That's why we do this. So if we have helped you, please reach out and let us know. Yulia and Esther have both also not only benefited from the study group, but they've also joined our board. So that is even a bonus for us. Our study group advisors, Bob, Yulia, Esther, and Uche, have all earned their CBAP certification, Certified Business Analysis Professional. They have committed to participate in this study group, which means that you, as a participant, get an hour of education credit. You need that education credit to be able to apply for your certification, so we keep track of your attendance. Thank you for attending. Also, just as a note, if you attended last week, please put in the chat that you attended last week. We had some trouble with our attendance, and we want to be sure that you get credit. So just note in there that you attended last week, and we will get that done. Watermark Learning is one of the education providers with the IIBA. They have given us access to their practice study questions, which is what we'll be using in a few minutes, but they've also given you a discount on any of their products, business analysis, project management, and a few other topics. It is Tampa 21, which will give you a 20% discount on any of their products or classes. Okay. We do appreciate that.
All right, Lauren, I'm gonna go look at
Okay, I'm going to jump into this. This is our Google Drive. We have a lot of really good information in here. And to get to our YouTube channel, if you want to, and I do recommend you do, Bob Churchill, which you can see right here. Bob Churchill has this wonderful blog and website, and he's created this index. This index is an awesome index, which gives you not only, let's see, up here is access to our Google Drive and our YouTube. And then it's an index of all the recordings. If you scroll down to the bottom, you will see all the techniques. We've gone through the techniques at least twice. And then Bob has a blog post about each one of them. That's all 50 techniques. And then by chapters in the BABOK, we have at least 4 hours of practice study questions that you can access to see how are you doing in your knowledge of that particular knowledge area. Okay, we are going to jump over to the exam for today. Today well, this is fun. Let's see if I can do it this way. Today we're going to be working on knowledge area 2, which is CBAP. Knowledge area 2 is elicitation and collaboration. We're going to begin a new exam. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to read. Let's see if I can get everything in here. Okay, here's the drill in case you haven't participated before. I'm going to read the question. I'm going to read the 4 answers. Then I need you to tell me, is there one answer in there that is absolutely not true? It's like the BABOK doesn't even use that term. I want to know. And then I want to know, what answer do you think is the correct one according to the BABOK? Now, if you haven't participated before, you may not know the BABOK has a kind of idealistic way business analysis should be. It may not be exactly the way we would do it in the real world. However, to pass the test, you got to answer it like the BABOK. So we are looking for the very best answer according to the BABOK. So the first question. Sheila has been working on a project to upgrade a cross-border money transfer system due to new regulations. For this project, Sheila will need to collaborate with a number of government officials to understand the relevant parts of the new regulation, its scope, any exceptions, penalty limits for noncompliance, and other relevant information in a given context. Which of the following is not an activity that would help prepare government stakeholders for the requirements elicitation session? So here's our question. Sheila should send out a meeting agenda to relevant stakeholders well before the elicitation session. Sheila should share any relevant supporting documents to the stakeholders before the requirements elicitation session. Sheila should educate the stakeholders on any elicitation techniques they are unfamiliar with that will be used in the elicitation session. Or D, Sheila should explore any relevant supporting documents available in the organization and determine what to collect from stakeholders. So we want to talk about which ones will not prepare the stakeholders for the session. What do y'all think?
I say C.
I would say C2.
Okay, which one is the following is not an activity that would help them? You think C is the one?
Oh, I'd go back to A. That would be me,
Okay,
I think.
okay, I've got
Well,
2 votes for.
There's
Let's
2
talk
sitting
through it.
supporting documents, so one might be wrong.
What does the BABOK say about preparing stakeholders for elicitation?
Well, it definitely says do A.
It says send out an agenda. So we want the activity that will not help them be prepared for the elicitation session. These 3 are all directed to the stakeholders. This one is not directed to the stakeholders.
Yeah, that's 4.1.4.5 on page 59. I would have said C, but the BABOK says different.
So are you saying that the BABOK says that this is one that we should use?
Yes.
Okay. What does the BABOK say about this one? Sharing any
Yes.
relevant supporting documents.
Yeah,
It says it should do that. And the BABOK says we should send out a meeting agenda. So it says that we should do all three of these. So let's choose this one since the question is not an activity. And see, maybe we're wrong, but let's check it. Okay,
Okay.
so this
That
is
was
a
my
good
second
idea to
choice.
do this. To answer this question, this is the right answer. Okay,
and that is because that has nothing to do with the stakeholders before
Right.
the meeting.
right. This will
Tricky.
help Sheila to determine what to collect from the stakeholders, but this will not help the stakeholders, right? Okay,
Right.
next one. Stacy is a business systems analyst assigned to a new management reporting initiative. Stacy has noted that a few of the current managers are a bit reluctant to make changes to the existing management reports and may not be cooperative while sharing their requirements about management reports. What should Stacy do to manage those reluctant stakeholders? So there's our real question. Stacy should explore lessons learned documents from previous projects to find a solution from experiences of similar situations in the past project. Stacy should take actions to prepare the stakeholders for the change initiative and ensure their buy-in. As stakeholders are from senior management teams, Stacy should discuss the manager with the sponsor and seek his or her help to sort this out. Or Stacy should discuss the matter with the project manager and seek his or her help to sort this out. What does the BABOK say?
I would say B.
B as in board.
B as in
Why
boy.
do you
Yep.
like B?
Because I think she's thinking ahead of what might be their issues and why they are being resistant to making the change. So if she lays that out ahead of time, she has a better chance to have them understand what needs to be done.
Okay, I like your logic. Can I get a second idea or opinion or agreement?
Without reading the BABOK, that is the most plausible to me.
Without reading the BABOK, does that mean that that's not what the BABOK says, Bob?
I don't know what the BABOK
Okay.
said.
Okay, so which one is the best answer according to the BABOK? Is it B? I need two answers, guys. Any guesses?
I have it right here. I just don't have time to look it up.
I understand. Okay, for time's
So-
purpose, I'm going to go ahead and check the answer, and this is correct. In preparing for elicitation, the business analyst should ensure that there is buy-in from all necessary stakeholders. That is easier said than done sometimes, but identifying what's causing them to be resistant is really the key. Don't you agree? Thank you, Kim. Okay, which of the following statements is not true regarding collaboration? Collaboration involves regular, frequent, and bidirectional communication. Collaboration encourages the free flow of information and ideas. Collaboration involves communication on an as-needed basis. And collaboration promotes a shared effort to resolve problems. Three of these agree with the BABOK. Which one is not agreeing with the BABOK?
C.
C.
I'll say C.
Vivian, did you say C?
Yes.
Okay, let's check this answer. We got two answers, and this is not a stated descriptor of the collaboration event. We know in the real world, this is what we do, right? But according to the BABOK, that is not one of them, and you got to know what the BABOK says.
Well, there's another thing you can do while you're taking the test, And all the answers we've seen so far, you could kind of deduce logically.
Yep, yep.
So try to take the test on both levels. Knowing the BABOK is great, but you cannot know this whole stinking book. You just can't. So you have to think your way through it, both from your experience and through what the question is logically asking.
Great. Okay, number 4. When identifying stakeholders and selecting elicitation techniques for requirements elicitation, which of the following best describes the relationship between the two? So it is identifying stakeholders and selecting elicitation techniques for requirements elicitation. We're talking about the relationship. Only identify stakeholders who have the availability to participate in elicitation and then select elicitation techniques suitable to them. There is no relationship. You may select the elicitation technique you prefer before identifying your stakeholders. The relationship between the two depends upon the project approach and the context associated with the business need. Or D, identify stakeholders involved in the change and then select elicitation techniques suited to them. Which one does the BABOK say?
D.
D as in dog? Or B as in boy? I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing.
I think
D. I think she said D.
D, dog.
Okay. Let's see what the answer is. And that is correct. This is exactly what the BABOK says. They even have a figure. Which stakeholders participate in confirming elicitation results? Stakeholders with enough authority to approve requirements, the project team, the BA, stakeholders who have participated in the elicitation tasks.
I'm gonna
I
go
would
with
say D.
dog.
D as in dog.
D as in dog.
Thank you. And that is correct. This is the best choice.
You
Shelby is elicit.
iterate and confirm within a phase with the people you're working with.
I agree. Shelby is eliciting requirements for a new program intended to increase employee satisfaction. Recent surveys indicate that the employees did not feel recognized for a job well done, but the sponsor is not sure a Gold Star Award would bolster employee satisfaction results at their company. What could Shelby suggest? Researching other companies to see what they do and then benchmarking against existing programs. Scrap the idea because it's too risky. Suggest the Gold Star Award be piloted and then assess the results before moving forward, or suggest a quick survey be distributed to see what employees think of the idea. According to the BABOK, what should Shelby do?
I'm leaning towards A.
Why do you like A?
Because that's like looking kind of like it's like pre-research. It's like reaching out for other sources, existing
Okay.
sources.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say A and Apple too. Like I think they say something about lessons learned or something, so I think it falls maybe into that.
okay, let's see if that's right. Okay. The scenario suggests the sponsor isn't sure it would work at their company, so benchmarking wouldn't change that. So it could have worked at another company, but the sponsor doesn't think so. The Gold Star Award being piloted and then assess the results, it's called experiments. It's the third one in that list of types of
That may be
elicitation.
right, but I don't like the question. I will classify that as goofy.
Okay.
That's my standard for when these questions are not great.
Okay. We will say that that is now a goofy question. Okay, so experiments is the third category of elicitation types in that list. I don't have it in front of me, so I can't tell you where it's at. Oh, it's on
Tells
4.2.
you 422.
It's collaborative research and then experiments will give you data that you didn't have access to before. Okay, next. You have been asked to confirm your results after a requirements workshop. Why is that important? To ensure the requirements are accurate and consistent with other information, to ensure the requirements are ready to be specified and modeled, to ensure the work breakdown structure is created in time for risk identification and assessment, or to ensure the project manager understands the requirements for project planning.
Slam dunk. Easy.
I would say
I
A is an apple.
agree.
Okay, 2 answers, and that is the stated purpose. Good quote. Good job, guys. I do appreciate that y'all have studied. That's easy to see. Y'all are going to get good scores. You are mentoring a new business analyst in the communications arena. They are preparing for their role as facilitator for a workshop that will review requirements elicited to date for purposes of confirmation from source stakeholders. They are using the BABOK as reference for their prep. They come to you asking about business analysis information since the BABOK says they need it as an input, but have no idea as to what it includes. How do you explain business analysis information to them? Instead of giving them the answer, you try to help them to be more resourceful by advising them to check the glossary and get back to you with any further questions. You tell them that business analysis information is a catch-all phrase that basically means any kind of information at any level of detail that is used as an input for or output for business analysis work. You explain to them that business analysis information means all the stated requirements documented to date from that group of stakeholders for review at the workshop. Or D, you explain to them that business analysis information means that all stated requirements documented to date from that group of stakeholders along with their stated documented concerns for review at that workshop. Which one of these does the BABOK say?
I know what you better say.
It doesn't matter what we think it should say. What does it say?
Is it a catch-all? B?
You like B?
I would say C is in cat.
Why do you like C?
Well, I think if you're, let me read the question. Praying for their rules so they come back about business. I think it sums up what a BA, what we do, right? So what we take the information, we then lay it out in planning and requirements, and then we present that for review. The only thing that's throwing me is documenting their concerns, but I may not know that yet. So I'm going to stick with C.
And
Okay.
I was gonna go with D because of the concerns, because
It's hard. Like, I don't know which way to go.
because the
It's
business
a trick.
business analysts look at what can go wrong and try to circumvent that as well before those issues arise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got a vote for C and a vote for D with good logic on both of them. I need a tiebreaker.
B.
I'm gonna go for B because the others C and D mention stated requirements. Business analysis information doesn't only cover requirements, but also can talk about any other information. So I'm gonna go with B.
Okay.
And
I've got
it's
B, C, and D.
inputs and outputs. Business analysis information is everything.
Okay. I've got B, C, and D. I need somebody to give me a tiebreaker.
I'm leaning towards B as well. B as in boy.
Okay. I've got 2 B's. Let's see what the answer is. And B is correct. This is the exact definition of business analysis information in the BABOK on 4.4.3.
Yeah, page 68.
Very good. Stacy's working on an IT change initiative, which will replace the current time-consuming process of data transfer from application A to application B by a faster data transfer process. Stacy's been working with the development team to experiment with different data transfer approaches to understand the advantages and disadvantages of the various approaches. She will then hold a workshop to share those results with a select group of business stakeholders to get their input on the best approach to use for the solution. Which task is Stacy performing? Is she doing define design options, conduct elicitation, prepare for elicitation, or conduct a proof of concept?
I'm throwing out D, or throwing it up as an option. My choice.
You're saying that B is the right answer?
D.
Is the wrong
D is in
answer?
B
dog.
as in dog.
Oh, D is in dog. So it's
as
asking
in
for a
dog.
task. Is this one of the tasks? The tasks in this chapter are prepare for elicitation, conduct elicitation, confirm elicitation results, communicate business analysis information, and manage stakeholder collaboration. Maybe. So that word is a key to tell us it's got to be one of those 5 tasks.
Right.
So B as in boy.
I believe
Yep.
that that's the only.
Yeah.
We have prepare for elicitation or conduct elicitation, but because they've already got some data, I think that we are past prepare for elicitation. So
Yeah.
let's try it. Let's see what the answer is. It'll tell us if we're wrong. She's conducting elicitation through experimentation with the development team and a workshop session with the business stakeholders. Does that make sense?
That's great
Mhm.
logic. That totally would have thrown me.
This is why the conversations, guys, are so valuable. You know, honestly, it was Yulia that taught me this. You know, it's like, oh no, that word means that you've got to look in the specific, very tight category. So it's a task. If it didn't say task, I wouldn't have caught it.
Mhm.
Preeti, a business analyst, has been working on a project to develop a footbridge across a major avenue in one of the busiest roadway junctions in Sydney, Australia. Preeti is in the initial phase of the project and is planning how to collect requirements from identified stakeholders. Kelly, the project manager, is checking in with Preeti to see if everything is on track or is she facing any challenges or roadblocks. At this stage of the project, how can Kelly best help Preeti move forward with her work? So this is the project manager helping the business analyst move forward with her work. She's planning on how to collect requirements for identified stakeholders. So according to the BABOK, what is the PM supposed to be doing for the BA at this point? The project manager should work with the sponsor to determine if all relevant stakeholders have been identified before elicitation begins. The project manager should ensure the appropriate stakeholders and other physical resources are available for the elicitation session. The project manager should identify the risk involved in the requirements elicitation activity and create the mitigation and contingency plan, or the project manager should allocate the funds needed to conduct the business analysis activities properly. There is one that is the best according to the BABOK.
I would say B as in boy.
Why do you like B?
I think that since Preeti is working on that and she's having some challenges, I think that as a project manager or product manager, you should go in and just double check that she's got everything as it should be. So she's not running into any issues. Like she's done her parts, and then I would go to the next step and reach out to the stakeholders if she had it all
Right.
done correctly.
Anybody else have Different answer? Anybody agree with this?
I agree, because when you do have a project manager and a BA, it's like some of those other things are more of what the BA typically does. And answer B is more what a project manager could help fulfill and support.
Right?
Project
check the answer.
manager is about the environment and the resources.
Right. I'm gonna pull this down and show y'all. This is my copy of the BABOK. The role of the stakeholder of the project manager here is to ensure the appropriate people and resources are available to conduct elicitation. When I first started studying the BABOK, I would like say, okay, these are the three roles, and I would just kind of look at the names. I didn't realize that these words out here were actually important. They are. Whenever it says what their role in that step is, it's important according to the BABOK that you understand that as well. Okay, that is the correct answer. Let's move on. Paul is listing data requirements and discussing systems communication and how the two systems currently exchange data and services with the stakeholders. What principle is Paul discussing? Is this the principle of interoperability, data mitigation, portability, or trans-system exchange?
D as in dog.
D is in dog. Okay. So systems communication and how the two systems currently exchange data and services. Is it
I would
trans-system
say A.
exchange? You like interoperability?
Mhm.
Okay, I've got two answers. Why do you like interoperability more?
Frankly speaking, I have not heard about trans-system exchange. But I have heard about interoperability, and it's kind of,
Okay,
looking at the keywords, I think it is interoperability.
okay. Any other answers?
I'm gonna agree with A because it mentions communication between two systems.
And which answer is that? I'm sorry.
A.
You like A? Okay, I've got 2 votes for A. Let's see what we got. And that is the truth. Interoperability is the ability of systems to communicate by exchanging data or services. Now, I want to tell y'all that there is a term called portability in the BABOK. I'm going to show it to you here. Portability is way down in chapter 10. And it looks like it's almost the same thing. So understand that interoperability is in the section we're in. Portability is talking about
Portability is a more general term. It talks about code and capabilities as well as data. Trans-system exchange is an appropriate word to use for the concept, except it's not in the BABA. And data migration doesn't mean real time, like ongoing. That's going from one system to another in only one direction, one time. But interoperability is both directions on an ongoing basis, using a term that's actually in the book.
Okay, very good.
And that's
So
a feature we
that's a
talk
tricky
everybody or
question.
try to talk everybody out of.
Well, it makes it a little more complicated, doesn't it, Cliff?
Well,
Especially for
we always
maintenance in
talk
the
about a
future.
source of truth. And when you have two systems
Right.
that can
Mhm.
put data in each other, you lose your source of truth. And
Right.
it becomes a real big problem.
It becomes a huge problem. There are
It
entire projects
depends
about
on the
stopping this.
system, though. There are logical reasons why systems have to communicate back and forth. So that is not, that's a larger consideration than just single source of truth.
Yep,
Although
I agree
that's
with you.
very important.
Okay. Cato is working with stakeholders on a proof of concept to validate the design of a new system. What type of elicitation is Cato's team utilizing? Is it research, collaborative, experiments, or prototyping? Remember, there's only three kinds. So one of these isn't even a kind of elicitation.
I would say D and as in dog, prototyping.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with C, experiments.
Why do you like experiments better than D?
Because I recall A, B, and C being types of elicitation.
Okay. So proof of concept. So I've got to vote for D and I've got to vote for C. Can I get a tiebreaker or another vote, please?
Well, I'll agree with C because it's research, collaboration, and experiment. Those are um, the types. So
Yeah, I think you're probably
the
right. The
experiment
three
would be it.
types, yeah.
Okay, let's check
'Cause I
the
think
answer since we've got
prototyping is
several.
part, yeah.
Experiments
Prototypes.
offer identifying information that could not be known without some sort of controlled test, and that's an experiment. Very good. Guys, the conversation is what makes it.
Yeah.
So speaking up is helpful. I don't care if you're sure you have the right answer or not. Having the conversation allows us to learn. When preparing for requirements elicitation, what are the inputs required to develop an elicitation activity plan? Are they? These are the inputs into the task. Business analysis approach and needs, business analysis approach, stakeholder engagement approach, needs, stakeholder engagement approach, or business analysis approach, domain SME list. Is domain SME list even one of the inputs? Guys, it's not one of the inputs. So we know that this is not one of the possible answers for this because we know the inputs. Domain SME list doesn't list. So it's one of these three. Which one is for to develop an elicitation activity plan? So that's your output. Preparing for requirements elicitation is your task.
My vote is for C.
Yeah. C.
Yep.
Okay,
C.
I've got 2 votes for C. Let's see what we get. And that is correct. You guys are smoking this. Hot dog. Interviews and interface analysis are techniques used in which task? Now, you know, there's 8 techniques on each of these tasks, but only one of them has interviews and interface analysis.
Conduct elicitation.
Conduct elicitation is your vote? Okay.
I'm gonna vote for B as in boy, confirm.
Why do you like confirm with interviews and information analysis? I'm sorry, interface analysis instead of conduct?
Because I think at that point you've already outlined it and possibly done your experiments and prototypes. So now you're just confirming that what you have through interviews is correct.
Okay.
That's
good
the way I
logic.
would think, but
I'll
Okay.
go with A as the first person. Conduct elicitation
Okay, I've got 2
because
votes for
it's an
conduct
interview and
elicitation.
yeah,
Go
that's
ahead,
a
tell me
hard
your
one.
reason. Well, we're going to check it and get the right answer and learn. So either way, we're good.
Hey,
Hello.
Okay, so did I get 2 votes for conduct elicitation? Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna check it. And these are the stated results used
Do
to
you think
conduct
so?
elicitation.
I'm
So,
happy to hear from a
Kim,
friend. So
say it
yeah,
again, Vivian.
you have to put on the best because you never know you talk to this person again. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm actually in a study group right now anyway, so it's not that thing. But you're good. Uh, um, well, no, there's this certification which is the highest level of the business analyst domain. So I'm trying. In fact, my exam is scheduled for June 27th.
I don't think we, I don't know if you guys have the
I'm
ability to
just
mute.
like July 27th. Almost, I'm
Vivian,
like,
are you
damn.
still talking to us? Okay, let's go on. I thought he was explaining, guys. I'm sorry. Thank you. Which of the following list contains the three common types of elicitation? Collaboration, observation, and research. Collaborative, documents analysis and observation. Collaborative research experiments, and observation interviews and focus groups.
C, as in cat.
I
one
would
vote.
say D.
Okay.
That's
Three
the types,
common
right?
types
Three
of
types.
elicitation. I'm sorry, say that again. Okay,
I say B.
did you say D?
B as in boy.
B is in boy. Okay. Okay, so we've got collaborative in all three of these. These are common types of elicitation.
Hmm.
D.
Bob, did you say D is in dog?
Charlie.
Okay, I've got lots of answers here, guys. Give me some reasons. Let's talk through it.
Age
I-
61.
Yeah.
I said C, because you had mentioned it earlier when we talked about types. So I was listening.
True.
That's why I knew where to look.
Okay. I'm going to check the answer. So let me pull this down. Conduct elicitation, 4.2. These are the three common types of elicitation. So collaborative, research, and experiments. Okay, now we know. Which of the following options is an input to managing stakeholder collaboration? Solution approach, stakeholder register, scheduled resources, or stakeholder engagement approach? So it may be one of many inputs, but it is only, which of these is an input to managing stakeholder collaboration task? Which is 4.5.
I'm gonna say D as in dog is my
Yep.
my
Stakeholder
choice.
engagement approach.
I agree.
All right, let's check the answer. And you're right. You guys are going to get an awesome score. You are a business analyst for your organization and you've identified the stakeholder in your organization. As part of this identification, you've identified the stakeholder engagement approach, business analysis information, and business analysis performance assessment. What other input is needed to prepare for the elicitation and collaboration tasks? So elicitation and collaboration tasks are all 5 tasks in this knowledge area. What else do we need to do? Do we need to go through needs, project charter, executive sponsor approval, or supporting documentation?
I would say A, needs.
Needs.
Okay, got 2 answers and you are correct. Needs is the only input that I saw that was also in the previous knowledge area. And I'm looking at it going, I've seen that before, but I made it red because it's like, that's interesting. We got it in 2 places. in two different knowledge areas. Which of the following tasks provides stakeholders with the information they need at the time they need it? Is it manage stakeholder collaboration, conduct elicitation, communicate business analysis information, or confirm elicitation results? So we're going to be providing stakeholders with information. Which one of these is it?
C as in Charlie.
C, communicate, BA information.
C.
Okay,
Yep, I
let's
would
check
say
that
C.
answer. And you are correct. This is the only one that really talks about giving something to the stakeholders. The other ones actually kind of talk about things that we need as business analysts or things that we're doing as business analysts. Keith is scheduling participants for a workshop associated with a highly debated project with an aggressive timeline. He must ensure he has everyone's buy-in on the session objectives, purpose, and the process, as well as giving them time to review the supporting materials. He sees all the stakeholders are available in 2 days, but not again for almost 3 weeks. When should Keith schedule the workshop and why? So he needs to give them time to review the supporting materials. 2 days, because if follow-up is needed, he can schedule a second session in 3 weeks. 3 weeks to ensure everyone can attend the session. 3 weeks because he needs time to prepare the stakeholders for the event and give them time to review the supporting materials, or 2 days because the project has an aggressive timeline, which has to be met no matter what.
I would pick A as an apple,
Tell me why.
just because of the timeline. See how much he could accomplish in the first 2 days, and if there is an additional session needed, then he could compile his information and then meet with them again in 3 weeks.
Okay, I see Julie nodding. So with 2 agreements, I'm going to check it. And it says partially true, but 2 days is not enough time to prepare stakeholders to fully engage in a workshop for a highly debated project. If participants haven't bought into the project, they may be unresponsive or challenging during the workshop. It says 3 weeks. By taking the time to ensure buy-in, the workshop will have more engaged participants. In addition, participants will have time to review the supporting materials in advance of the workshop.
I think that's a goofy question.
Well, let me screenshot it real quick. And
It's the aggressive
tell them-
timeline. That's what kind of got me. It's like,
Yeah, me
we still
too.
have 2 days to prepare. And
Okay.
yeah, then just do what you can. And then if you have to reschedule, you know.
The
pick
other
it back up.
question, what does the sponsor want? What do the PMs want? Who's driving the thing?
The
If you're
timeline.
really aggressive, you're getting everybody in and say, sort it out. And then the highest paid person's opinion, otherwise known as HIPAA rules. Like
I
you had
understand.
your chance, we're going.
But according to the BABOK, to get the answer right on the test, you got to answer with the highly debated project, ensure everyone's buy-in, and give them time to review the supporting materials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, answer for question 20. Which of the following is the best definition of a business analyst? As this goes back to chapter 1 and 2. Any person who holds that title or role in an organization. A trusted advisor to all stakeholders identified during the course of the business analysis lifecycle. A trusted advisor to the business personnel or any person who performs business analysis tasks described in the BABOK, no matter what their job title.
D as in dog.
D as in dog, yep.
E as in dog, yep.
You guys know. Which document should you reference to understand the forecasted costs and benefits of the proposed solution as part of the preparation for elicitation? Would it be the business need, the project management plan, the solution scope, or the business case? Which one has this part?
Business case.
Got one vote?
I will
slam
second that.
dunk.
Yeah, second it.
Okay, seconded.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. Yes. The business case is a wonderful document that tells the pros and cons of doing this project, as well as a high level approach, as well as some high level money. It's all estimates, super high level. In order to conduct a licitation, what guidelines and tools will you need? So guidelines and tools, here's the key. Guidelines and tools for one of the tasks. So that's what we're looking for. The task is going to be conduct a licitation. So for that one, which ones of these match? Business analysis approach, existing business analysis information, stakeholder engagement approach, and supporting materials. Business analysis approach, elicitation activity plan, stakeholder engagement approach, and supporting materials. Elicitation activity plan, existing business analysis information, stakeholder engagement approach, and supporting materials. Or B, business analysis approach, existing business analysis information, stakeholder engagement approach, and the elicitation activity plan. Which one of these lines up with the guidelines and tools for conduct elicitation?
A.
A is an apple.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check it. That is correct. Very good. Okay, we have a few more, and then I've got a few things to tell y'all. What is the impact of the Agile perspective on the planning and execution of elicitation and collaboration tasks? So this is what we're talking about. Nope, this part right here. While requirements are all elicited at the beginning of the project, they are not formally approved during the project. There is less emphasis on collaborative elicitation approaches. High-level requirements are elicited at the beginning of the project. Requirements are detailed right to the appropriate level right before their development begins, or minimal to none. Elicitation and collaboration tasks are planned and executed similarly in an agile environment. Which one of these does the BABOK say?
I'm
I'm
leaning
gonna go
towards
with
C.
C. Oh, sorry.
Got several C's. Good job. And that is exactly what it is. Agile requirements are detailed just in time. 24, there are 5 types of elicitation and collaboration tasks that business and analysts must complete as part of their role and responsibilities. Which of the following is not one of those tasks that the business analysts may complete as part of their roles and responsibilities in this knowledge area? Communicate business analysis information, engage stakeholders, prepare for elicitation, or conduct elicitation.
A.
A.
Okay.
Oh,
Engage stakeholders. This one is not one of the tasks.
oh, you
There's a
manage,
big
you manage.
diagram at the beginning of the chapter.
Okay, one more. What are the possible forms that business analysis information package could include? Informal documentation, formal and informal documentation, text, matrices, diagrams, and presentations, or formal documentation. So the possible forms.
B as in boy.
Yeah, I would say B as in boy too. Yep. Oh, interesting.
Formal and informal documentation and presentations.
Just stupid question. I submit to you that the actual exam does not generally include questions that are that nitpicking.
Well, it's nice to know.
I'm not saying it's
Mhm.
easy, but it's not quite that crazy. By the way, question 19, the one we had some trouble with, about getting buy-in versus being aggressive. If you look at that section of the BABOK, it doesn't really support what they said there.
Okay.
It doesn't, the BABOK doesn't support the question
Got it.
explicitly.
I will
So
send
the
that one back to
test
Watermark.
makers here are doing an interpretation that I disagree with, or at best is ambiguous.
I'll send that one back to Watermark. They said they would listen to me now that they've met me. So we got that under control. Okay, guys, we made 84%, which I want you to know is phenomenal. Very rarely in any of these, over any of the years that I've done this, that I've seen such good scores. So what I'm going to tell you is this. We don't know what score you have to make to pass the test. However, it's a kind of a sliding thing where the top third people pass the test. So whatever people are making as the score, it's based on that. So we think if you make about 70%, you're probably going to be just fine. Making a score like this with the stress of the test on top of it, you're probably going to pass. But
You will
this was
not, however, have this available while you're taking
that's
the
true.
test.
That's true. But we're learning, right? We saw
Yeah.
things that we maybe have never seen before, and we're learning from our conversation, and we're learning to look at the things in the different questions that kind of give us a hint on which of the answers are right. We've got 3 minutes, and I've got some things to tell y'all. IIBA for this month has a $50 off of their application. If you want to turn in your application this month, all you have to do is be a member and turn in your application, and you'll get the $50 off. To turn in your application, though, I would suggest that you fill out your application on the Excel spreadsheet and not just do it directly into the IIBA site, because you have literally 7 days before they lock it down. So you start, and 7 days later, you can't make any more changes. So do it on the Excel, get it all fleshed out the way you need it, and then transpose it in there so that you can get your application in if you want to do it this month. If you do it this month, you have a year once it gets approved to take your test. So you're cool there. For those of you who know people that are interested in joining the IIBA but perhaps don't have funds, the Knowledge Hub, which is the area that has all of the publications, the 11,000 books, that is free to anyone who is not a member for a 7-day trial period if you want to apply. If you want to contact me or just look on my LinkedIn, I've posted a link to it so people can get to it. So they have that. I'm going to tell you that studying for this, it's not easy. This is a big book and it's complicated. This is a lot like cleaning out your master closet. You got this goal of what you want it to look like at the end, and you take everything out and you put it on piles and you start getting tired and look around and go, what did I do? However, if you quit, you're not going to finish and you're not going to get to the goal that you wanted. We're going to do this together. You're going to reach a point where it's like, oh my goodness, I'm so tired and overwhelmed, but we're going to make it through it together. So lean on each other, reach out to me if you want. We can encourage each other because I need it too. But know that it's not all easy, and nobody's going to go through this and just think it's easy all the way through. This is kind of a sludge that we got to, slog through. We're going to do it together. We're going to get to the end. Most of us have committed to trying to get this test taken before the end of this year. November is kind of our magic time because we've got Thanksgiving in there. We can take a couple of days and really focus and study. If you need encouragement, reach out to me. I'm available to you. If you have questions, we can work through it together. I don't know everything, but I've studied a little bit. Maybe I know something you don't know. Maybe you know something I don't know. So please reach out. I'm happy to talk to you. We're going to be meeting next week. We're going to talk about the next knowledge area, which is going to be Knowledge Area 3, Chapter 5. You have the recordings. You have 4 hours of these practice test questions on there. You've got all the techniques. You've got the recordings of us explaining the techniques. You have Bob's blogs on every one of the techniques as well. And there's all kinds of other stuff online. If you feel like you're falling behind and you need to catch up, we've got our recordings on YouTube. The Ireland chapter is doing the same thing we're doing. The Philippines chapter is going to be starting in a week, and they are starting brand new at the very beginning. So if you have, want to join again, catch up, if you want to watch the recordings, we have you covered both directions. So if you need any information about any of that, reach out to me through LinkedIn. It's the easiest way to get to me, and I'll be glad to assist you. I want you to succeed, and I know that you can. That's why we're invested in your progress and your success. Does anyone have any questions before we leave?
Don't be afraid of it. Work hard, study, but take the test. A lot of people who go through all this never even take the exam. There was no excuse for at least not jumping in and going for it.
Right. So just dogged grit and determination is going to put you ahead of literally 70% of the people who have attempted to study. They don't even try to take the test. So you're going to be in an elite group, which is kind of cool, and you're going to have your CBAP certification by the end of the year. So let's do this together. I will see y'all in a week. We're going to work on the next chapter, the next knowledge area. Keep studying the way you're studying. You're doing a fantastic job. If you feel like you need to go back and learn again, do it. We've got all the resources for you. I will talk to y'all next week. Bye.